Hi, in this video we are looking at 2018 Maths Ordinary Level Paper 2, question 9. So we're starting with some geometry. We have to find the volume of a solid sphere with radius of 0.3 centimeters, and we have to give our answer in centimeters cubed, correct to 3 decimal places. Remember that volume of a sphere is given by 4/3 pi r cubic. Substituting radius of 0.3 into our r cubic, we're going to get that volume is equal to 4/3 pi 0.3 cubic, and that turns out to be 0.1130, and correct to 3 decimal places, we're going to get that this is equal to 0.113 centimeters cubic, and that is the volume of such sphere. Now, the sphere is made of pure gold. Each centimeter of pure gold weighs 19.3 grams. We have to find the number of grams of pure gold in the sphere and give our answer correct to the decimal places. So we know that 1 gram is equal to 19.3, sorry, 1 centimeter cubic should be 1 centimeter cubic, 19.3 grams. So now we have a little proportion, and where you can say that 0.113 equals to x, and simply x is going to be equal to 19.3 multiplied by 0.113. And when we do that calculation, we get 2.1809, and correct to 2 decimal places, this turns to be 2.18 gram. Now, it is known that there are approximately 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 atoms in 197 grams of pure gold. So now we have to find the number of atoms of pure gold in our sphere, giving our answers in the standard form, and also being corrected to significant figures. Okay, so what we need to do is to again form a proportion. We know that there are 6.02 times 10 to the 23 atoms in 197 grams of gold. We know that we have 2.18 grams of gold, so this is our x. So to find the value of our x, all we need to do is do a proportion, so cross multiply x by 197, 6.02 by 218, and then divide by 197, so that will turn into 6.02 by 10 to the power of 23 multiplied by 2.18, and all that divided by 197 from the proportion. So when we do that calculation, we're going to get the value of 6.7 by 10 to the power of 21 in the appropriate format, and correct with the correct number of significant figures, so 2 significant figures. And the next part of this question is a statistics question. So we have a survey carried out on behalf of a TV station to investigate the popularity of a certain show. A random sample of 1,560 television viewers was surveyed. We have to find the margin of error of the survey, giving our answer as percentage. So margin of error is always given formula 1 over root n. So that means 1 over root of the number of viewers, because n is 1560, number of respondents to the survey, root 1560, so which turns to be 0.02 5318. 5318. So turning this into percentage, multiplying by 100, we get 2.5318%, and correct to 1 decimal place as the question requires. This is equal to 2.5%. Lovely. So in the survey, 546 of 1,560 viewers surveyed said they liked the show. Now we have to use our answer to create a 95% confidence interval for the percentage of viewers who liked the show. Okay, so who liked the show? So first of all, we have to remember the formula for the 95% confidence interval. That is equal to proportion minus the standard error for the lower bracket of the confidence interval, and proportion plus the standard error for the higher endpoint. Now we know what our standard error is. We have calculated it. Now we just need the proportion, and proportion is calculated by taking the number of respondents who responded positively, 546, over the total number of respondents, 1560. So that's equal to 0.35 or 35%. I'm expressing this in percentages because I'm using percentages here as well. So then finding the 95% CI will be given by 35 minus 2.5 and 35 plus 2.5. So the 95% confidence interval will be given by 32.5 and 37.5. Which means that we have 95% confidence that the proportion of the population who like the show lies between 32.5% and 37.5%. Okay, lovely. An executive for the television station had claimed that 40% of viewers liked the show. We have to use our answer to part B to conduct a hypothesis test at 5% level of significance. To test the executive's claim, and we have to state our null hypothesis, the alternative hypothesis, and give the conclusion in the context of the question. So the null hypothesis, I'm going to say that null hypothesis is that proportion of viewers is equal to 40%. So this states that null hypothesis is the assumption that the proportion of viewers who like the show is 40%. The alternative hypothesis will be that the proportion of viewers who like the show is not 40%. Okay. So the way to test it is to see whether the number that we state in our hypothesis lies inside our confidence interval. And obviously confidence interval is between 32.5 and 37.5. So we can clearly state that 40 is not in an interval between 32.5, 40% here, percent, and 37.5%, which means that based on the data from the survey, we have sufficient evidence to reject the null hypothesis. And the reason or the conclusion after that rejection in the context of the question is that based on the evidence from the survey, we can say that percentage of viewers who like the show is not 40% at 95% confidence level. And that was the last part in this question, so it's a good place to stop.